The new transfer student was radiant and full of energy, completely different from us bookworms. That was how Ethan described her. Then Ethan suddenly turned to me and smiled. "Amy, let's go a little crazy this time. I'll take you to watch the sunrise." I was surprised. "But it's the holidays. I need to catch up on sleep at home." He frowned. "Youth is priceless. You don't get that?" Youth is priceless. That was something the transfer student Leo always said. Ethan sat behind her and often listened to her talk, his eyes sparkling. I didn't respond, but he clapped his hands and said, "It's decided. We leave Saturday." Ethan quickly started looking up hiking guides. Then Leo suddenly leaned over and said, "A spontaneous trip? I'm coming too." I looked up and saw Ethan smiling. "Sure," he said. I don't know why, but my heart suddenly skipped a beat, and a strange bitterness quietly spread inside me. Later that night, I got a message from Ethan. Something came up, and our plan was canceled. I instinctively asked, "What happened? Do you need help?" There was no reply on the phone. Time passed, and it felt like my words had sunk into a deep sea. I suddenly thought of the brightness in Ethan's eyes and glanced down at the hiking jacket I had just picked up. Silently, I put it away. When school resumed on Monday, I had barely stepped into the classroom when I heard people talking. "Ethan, you actually went? So brave. Were Wendy's soup dumplings good? I keep seeing that place in short videos. It's so tempting. Ugh, I'm so jealous." This is what people mean when they say youth is priceless. Unbelievable. "Wait, why did you go with Leo? Didn't you say you were going with your childhood sweetheart?" Someone quickly hushed the conversation. "Shh, stop, she's here." In that moment, all eyes in the classroom turned toward me. Dead silence. Ethan looked over too, clearly a little awkward. "I didn't see you this morning," he said, "so I took a shortcut." "A shortcut?" "There's only one road from our neighborhood to school." I had gotten up early, waited and waited. Ethan was 10 minutes late. I had to plead with the security guard at the gate before I was let in. I don't even know how early he must have left to not see me at all. I put down my bag. My deskmate leaned in. "Amy, didn't he say he was going with you? Why did it end up being Leo? Did something happen between you two?" She pulled up her phone and zoomed in on a photo. "They're really close in this one. Ever heard of personal space?" I glanced at the screen. It was Leo's 9-photo post. The one in the center showed the sunrise. Her head was resting on Ethan's shoulder. They were very close. My deskmate scrolled down to another photo. This time they were at a lively breakfast shop. The table was filled with steaming soup dumplings. Leo had captioned it, "Youth has no price. Night hike to the summit, sunrise captured." Almost all of our mutual friends had liked the post. I looked away. Impressive. Leo came running over and placed a takeout box on my desk. "Hey, even though you didn't come hiking, I brought you something delicious." The box was tightly sealed, a layer of cooled brownish soup under the lid. Leo beamed. "Wendy's famous soup dumplings. I brought them back just for you. Go on, try them." I lowered my gaze. "Thanks, but I'm good." She stepped in closer, then looked back toward Ethan like she was silently asking for help. Sure enough, Ethan walked over, frowning. "Amy, Leo brought those for you. At least take a bite." She went out of her way. "Everyone's watching. If you reject her, it's going to be really awkward." The whole class was watching, clearly enjoying the drama. People across the room were pointing and whispering. "What's Amy's problem? She's just jealous. Before Leo transferred here, wasn't it obvious she was Ethan's little princess?" The more they talked, the darker Ethan's expression grew. I couldn't stop my eyes from turning red. "So Ethan gets to care about his pride, but I don't get to have any?" Leo tugged on his sleeve, looking hurt. "Forget it, Ethan. Amy doesn't appreciate it. I'll take it home and give it to Didi later." Didi, Leo's long-haired dog she was always posting about on social media. I couldn't hold back my anger anymore. "Are you two done performing yet? Have I said a single word since I walked into this classroom? What the hell is your problem? Just picking a fight for no reason. When does it end?" Leo's face went pale in an instant. Ethan pulled her aside, stepping between us. He looked annoyed. "Leo brought this as a kind gesture. How did that turn into a problem?" He snatched the cold takeout box off my desk. Some new soup leaked out and dripped onto the floor. Leo looked like she was about to cry, tears brimming in her eyes. Then, like she couldn't take it anymore, she let out a muffled sob. covered her face, and ran out of the room. Ethan turned on me. "What, you're happy now? I didn't go with you, so you made her cry?" He said it loud enough that the whole class heard. The students around us were stunned into silence. Just then, the teacher entered as the bell rang. Ethan looked back one more time, clenched his jaw, and stormed out through the back door. By the end of class, neither of them had returned. Everyone was whispering about it. It's rare for any senior to skip class this far into the school year. All of us were counting on our last year's effort to give us a shot at a better future. What Ethan did today was way out of line. When my desk mate came back, she whispered to me, "Everyone thinks Ethan's gotten totally distracted by Leo. He's starting to act reckless with her." During lunch, most of the class had left. I was on duty that day, cleaning up the room. The greasy soup stain on the floor had hardened and was tough to scrub off. Then I heard footsteps behind me. I turned around and locked eyes with Leo. She immediately stepped back like she was scared. I ignored her and went back to mopping. After a long silence, she finally spoke, sounding frustrated. "Amy, I didn't mean to steal anyone. I didn't even know you weren't going until we were already at the foot of the mountain. How was I supposed to know Ethan would ditch you the moment he saw me?" Her voice grew softer and softer, sounding small. I took a deep breath. "So? What are you trying to say? That he's pitiful, and now I should just stop people from talking about you?" She looked at me, eyes wide. "My family went through so much just to get me transferred here. I just want to get along with everyone." The way she said it made it sound like I was the one turning the class against her. I let out a sharp, bitter laugh. "Seriously? Have you read too many romance novels or something?" She opened her mouth, but no words came out. Her eyes turned red. I put away the mop and walked out of the classroom. I hadn't even reached the cafeteria when my phone buzzed. "Ethan, don't take it out on her. You didn't want to go hiking, so I asked someone else who did. What's there to be upset about?" Just as I read the message, it started raining. Students were running across the playground, shouting and laughing. I slipped my phone back into my pocket. That sting in my chest suddenly went quiet. So much for childhood sweethearts. It didn't mean much anymore. Since senior year started, Ethan and I had always walked home together after evening classes. But that day I didn't wait for him. I ran back on my own. Halfway there, my phone rang. Ethan's voice came through. "Where are you? Why didn't you wait for me?" There was a pause, then he added, "From now on, I'll walk Leo home first, then I'll come back and walk with you." The streetlight cast a long shadow at my feet. I was the only one on the whole road. "So what, you expect me to wait alone at school at night for you to come back?" Ethan explained. "Leo's house is nearby. I'll be quick. You're upset about this?" He lowered his voice. "There's no need to be. Me walking with Leo doesn't change what we have." I cut him off. "Enough, Ethan." "What?" "You don't need to walk me home anymore. I'm not interested in sharing anything that's already been given to someone else." The phone went silent. All I could hear on the other end were his footsteps. I hung up the phone. That was that. When I passed by Ethan's building on the way home, I stopped without thinking. The lights were on upstairs. Through the window, I could vaguely see his grandmother busying herself with something. When we were kids, my parents were always busy, but Ethan's grandma was always there, kind and smiling. "Little Amy, come have dinner at Grandma's house." Her food was delicious. She loved watching us eat, smiling as she'd tell Ethan, "You're older than your little sister. You have to take care of her, okay?" And honestly, Ethan really did. For years, every time we got out of evening classes, even though his building was right by the gate of our complex, he'd insist on walking me to mine first. He'd shove me toward the door with a grin. "Go, hurry. Amy, I'll leave once I see you get home safely." I'd run upstairs, throw open my window and shout his name. Only then would Ethan wave back at me and slowly walk home. After exams, he'd do the math on our scores. "We're 4 points apart. This way we can apply to the same college." Then he'd laugh at himself. I'd ask what was so funny, and he'd suddenly go quiet, staring at me seriously. "So we don't have to be apart." My face flushed red, and just then he gently took my hand. "Since we were little, I always thought you were the cutest. If I ever let you go, just the thought of you being somewhere else makes my heart ache." Then he'd say it, every time. "Amy, we're going to the same college. Got it? His hand was warm, but my face felt even warmer. I nodded without fully understanding. Then he'd smile and say, "Come over for dinner tomorrow." After a beat, he'd add meaningfully, "Grandma and I both really like you." He'd always pull little surprises. One time he slipped a small box from his sleeve. "Amy, here's a gift." I had bolted, face burning, body trembling, completely breathless. But inside, I felt like I'd just made some huge promise. Then I got annoyed with myself. Why'd I run? I didn't even see what the gift was. The next day, the box showed up on my desk. Inside was a silver necklace, shaped like a Mobius strip, the most popular design at our school back then. Classmates took one look and started teasing. "Wow, a loop with no start or end, that's love right there." Ethan sat at his desk, watching me with the biggest smile on his face, and for a moment I almost believed it all. This morning, as soon as I left home, I saw Ethan pacing at the neighborhood gate. The moment he spotted me, he came running over, acting like nothing had happened. "I've been waiting forever for you." I walked past him. He paused, then followed behind. It took him a while to speak. "You're still mad?" I turned to him. "Take me through that shortcut you used the other day." He froze, suddenly remembering his excuse. His eyes flicked away awkwardly. "Why do you want to take that route? It's not easy. You wouldn't make it." I turned and walked off anyway. He quickly caught up, but soon grew impatient. "What are you even upset about? You didn't want to go hiking. I brought you a gift afterward and you still didn't want it." "You're nothing like Leo. She's so much more understanding." I stopped in my tracks. "Then go find her." Ethan's eyes went cold in an instant. "You sure about that?" I stepped past him without answering. He stayed frozen in place. I couldn't tell what he was thinking. Today, Leo pulled another one of her stunts. She handed out small cakes to every single classmate. When we walked into class, each desk had a beautifully packaged dessert sitting on top. Leo beamed. "I just want to be friends with everyone. I hope you all can feel my kindness." Everyone glanced at each other. No one wanted to look rude, so they all smiled and thanked her politely. My deskmate finished her cake, smacking her lips. "Amy, you're not eating yours?" I hadn't even processed what was happening. He took the cake from my desk. "If you're hungry, I'll buy you one after school and bring it to you." My deskmate took a bite of hers, but just then, Leo suddenly stepped up to my desk, eyes filled with tears. "Amy, I just wanted to get along with you. Is that not allowed? I even gave you one of the best cakes, and now you're giving it away just to make me look bad?" My deskmate froze mid-bite, glanced at Leo, then at me, awkwardly setting her cake down. Maybe you should just give it back to her." Leo stood there, all pitiful, staring at me. I pulled out my phone. "Sorry, how much was it? I'll send you the money." I shouldn't have said anything. The moment the words left my mouth, her eyes turned red. Right away, someone couldn't hold back and tried to step in. "Amy, that's a bit much, don't you think? We're all classmates." "Yeah," someone added. "I know that cake shop. Their stuff is really expensive." Ethan suddenly kicked back his chair and stormed over. "Enough, Amy. Is this really fun for you?" Everyone in class stared at us, disapproving. Even my deskmate mumbled under her breath. "I was just hungry. I have low blood sugar." I straightened my back. "I'm not targeting anyone. This was just a misunderstanding. I'll pay for the cake. Happy?" Leo's lashes trembled, tears ready to fall at any second. Ethan looked at me with visible disgust. "Amy, this really isn't cool." A hot wave of anger surged through me. I stood up sharply and raised my voice. "Oh, I'm not cool. What about all of you? Why do you keep coming at me? What, stepping on me makes your version of youth more noble?" I snapped. I straight up threw that damn cake into the trash. "You all keep saying I'm targeting her? Fine, now I am. Happy?" The classroom went dead silent. Ethan looked stunned. "What the hell are you doing?" My deskmate was completely shaken. I kept my face cold. "I'm on class duty today, and now I finally get it." The atmosphere was an absolute disaster. Ethan spent the entire day with a gloomy face. Leo walked on eggshells, dodging my gaze every time our eyes met. Later, when I went to the restroom, I caught a glimpse of the two of them in the hallway, leaning against the railing, whispering. Leo giggled. "Why is your charm so dangerous? I've managed to offend people just by being around you." Ethan ruffled her hair. "It's not your fault. She just doesn't understand boundaries. I'm not her property." Leo batted his hand away. "Ugh, you messed up my hair. The two of them were joking and laughing until, out of nowhere, they locked eyes with me. Ethan froze, startled, and stopped mid-movement. Leo followed his gaze and looked my way too. For a second, everything froze. She quietly tugged at Ethan's school uniform. What now? Ethan's expression darkened as he stepped between us, shielding her from view. What are you doing here? I turned around and walked away. Something's wrong with you, Amy, Ethan suddenly shouted, then ran after me and grabbed my arm. Don't walk away, just say what you want to say. Leo followed, chiming in. Yeah, this is getting out of hand. Amy, please, just hear us out. I tried to pull away but couldn't. I was stuck standing there as Ethan held onto my arm. I don't care about whatever is going on between you two, I said coldly. Just leave me out of it. Ethan's voice grew stern. Why are you being so unreasonable right now? Leo, as if they had practiced this beforehand, joined in perfectly with a trembling voice. Amy, I don't think I've ever done anything to hurt you. She choked a little. Can't we just talk this out? I lost it. I couldn't hold back anymore and shouted, I don't like you, and I don't want anything to do with you. Is that not allowed? Why is it that the second you cry, suddenly I'm the bad guy? If you've got a princess complex, maybe go get it treated at home before showing up here. I hadn't even finished the sentence when chaos erupted on the playground. Someone shouted, Watch out, and a blur of motion came flying straight toward us. In a flash, Ethan let go of my hand and stepped in front of Leo to shield her, pulling her backward. Everything happened so fast, I froze in place. The basketball hit me square on the head. A sharp, searing pain exploded, and I heard someone's panicked voice yell, Amy, are you okay? Then the world spun. I passed out. When I opened my eyes again, I was in a hospital room. You've got a concussion. We'll keep you for observation, someone was saying nearby. We'll do more checks once you're fully awake. My eyes struggled to adjust to the light. After a while, I could finally make out Ethan's face leaning close, a look of relief and surprise on his face. You're awake. Amy, how do you feel? I opened my mouth, but the dizziness and nausea were overwhelming. I shut my eyes again without a word. Ethan grabbed my arm. I didn't expect that to happen. It was so sudden. Why didn't you move out of the way? I already called your parents. They're on their way. Don't be scared. Then he hesitated, went quiet for a beat, and said, Amy, do you think maybe we could let this whole thing go? I didn't understand at first. I opened my eyes to look at him. Ethan avoided my gaze. The person who accidentally hit you today. It was Leo's godbrother. He already covered the medical fees, but, well, it was still his fault. Leo wanted to ask if you could, not press the issue. I let out a laugh. Not because it was funny, but because I was so angry I couldn't help it. I held my aching head and glared at him. I'm lying in a hospital bed and can't even stand up yet, and you're asking me to just drop it? What's wrong with you? Did your brain stop working, or did Leo eat it already? Ethan flinched, his face turning pale. He couldn't say a word. After a long silence, I finally asked, So the only reason you're sitting here right now is to play mediator? He couldn't answer. That silence was answer enough. I closed my eyes. Get out, Ethan. He said nothing. The atmosphere in the room dropped like a stone. A long while later, I heard a soft buzzing, his phone vibrating. He lowered his voice and said, Don't worry, I'll talk to her. I opened my eyes and caught him looking at me. Ethan stood up, pretending like he was about to leave. Your parents are almost here. I'll go meet them. Wait, I said, stopping him. I pulled out the necklace I had taken off earlier and held it out. Don't come back. And take this with you too. His eyes widened, stunned as he stared at the pendant. The room fell into silence. Then, frowning, Ethan muttered, What are you doing now? He refused to take it, so I let go right in front of him. The Mobius strip pendant fell to the floor with a light clink. Ethan's expression changed completely. So now you're cutting me off? That's seriously immature. He turned and walked away without looking back. I closed my eyes again, dizzy and drained. That's it. Just leave me alone. There wasn't much time left before the college entrance exams. Even with a concussion, I chose to get discharged on the third day. Luckily, it wasn't too serious. I could still read the test questions clearly. As soon as I returned to class, a classmate told me someone was asking for me. When I stepped outside, I saw a boy in our school uniform looking at me with a guilty expression. Are you okay? He asked. That's when I realized, this must be the godbrother Leo always bragged about. I don't know why, but just hearing he had anything to do with Leo immediately made me dislike him. I turned to walk away, but he grabbed the strap of my backpack. "I'm really sorry," he said. "I was the one who lost control of the basketball that day. But there's a test this afternoon, so I'll get going now," he added. "When I saw you at school today, I just wanted to check if you were okay." I turned and walked back into the classroom. "I don't need your concern." More classmates began trickling in. Out of the corner of my eye, I noticed that guy was still standing at the door, looking incredibly guilty. Everyone connected to Leo always seemed to be putting on some sort of act. I lowered my head and opened the test booklet in my hands. When my deskmate came in, she blurted out, "Hey, isn't that Zhao Xingyu from class 3? What's he doing in our class?" Just as she said that, Leo moved. Like a butterfly, she fluttered outside, her cheerful, bell-like laugh trailing behind her. "Zhao Xingyu, are you here to see me?" I couldn't hear what was said outside, but soon the laughter stopped. Through the window, I saw the boy walking away. His back looked defeated. My deskmate leaned in and whispered, "What godbrother? That's just someone Leo's been trying to get close to." She insisted they were connected because both their names have the word Xing in them. Zhao Xingyu doesn't even pay her any attention. She nudged me. "Hey, are you listening? Did the basketball scramble your brain?" I lowered my eyes. "Yeah, I heard." That was when Ethan walked in. The moment he saw Leo, he smiled and brought over a warm breakfast, placing it on her desk. Not even a glance in my direction. My phone buzzed unexpectedly. I had a new friend request from someone named Starlight. After evening classes, Ethan was the first to dash out of the classroom. He stood at the door, loudly calling out like he wanted the whole world to hear, "Leo, let's go, I'll walk you home." I walked right past him like he wasn't even there, but from the corner of my eye, I saw his smile fade. When I reached the school gate, I noticed the same boy, the one who'd hit me with the basketball, waiting nearby, slightly out of breath. I remembered his name now, Zhao Xingyu. Turns out, he'd been following behind me the whole time. Under the dim glow of the streetlights, his shadow trailed not too close, not too far. Suddenly, I stopped walking. So did he. "Do you need something?" I asked. He looked a little awkward. "I just wanted to make sure I didn't mess you up too badly." I didn't respond. He scratched his head. "I looked it up online. Concussions can make people cranky, so?" His voice faded off, clearly referring to when I told him I didn't need his sympathy. I was quiet for a moment. "I'm okay now. If anything happens, I'll contact you to cover the medical fees." He smiled. "Cool. I live nearby too. I'm not stalking you or anything. You go ahead." He stepped back a few paces, keeping a respectful distance. I kept walking. Behind me, the sound of his footsteps followed, always about 3 steps behind. We soon reached the entrance to my apartment complex. I turned to look back and saw a figure in a dark blue school uniform making a turn and jogging off in a different direction. Strangely, after that day, I began to recognize Zhao Xingyu. I accepted Starlight's friend request. We didn't talk, but after evening classes, I saw him almost every day. After a full week of this, I ran into Ethan's grandma at the gate. She stared blankly at Zhao Xingyu's back and asked, "Amy, is Ethan not walking you home anymore?" I paused for a moment. "We haven't walked home together in a long time." Grandma's mouth dropped open. "That can't be. Just yesterday he said you two were studying together. He didn't even get home until the middle of the night." I went silent. I didn't know how to tell her that Ethan hadn't studied with me in ages. Whatever studying he meant, it was probably with Leo. Youth is priceless, right? Grandma grew flustered and started pacing in circles. Right in front of me, she pulled out her phone and called Ethan. I turned and quickly walked away. Whatever Ethan was doing, good or bad, I didn't want any part of it anymore. I'd barely gotten home when my phone rang. It was Ethan, furious. "Amy, you really had to go tattling?" Ethan's voice was full of anger. "Walking home with another guy? Were you just trying to make my grandma worry about you or something?" I held the phone away from my ear. "Are you done? What did you just say?" "Ethan, your life has nothing to do with me anymore, and I'd appreciate it if you stopped bothering me." I paused for a second, then added, "I thought I made myself very clear at the hospital." The line went quiet. I hung up, but the phone immediately started ringing again. His name kept flashing across the screen. After a few more attempts, I declined the call and blocked his number. The next morning, before I even left our neighborhood, I saw Ethan waiting outside the gate. He looked terrible, like he hadn't slept all night. I said nothing as I walked past him. "Amy," he called after me. I couldn't understand why some people just refuse to listen when you clearly tell them no. At the corner, I saw the familiar navy blue school uniform waiting like always. I jogged over, and Zhao Xingyu naturally fell into step beside me. Unexpectedly, Ethan suddenly caught up from behind and stepped in front of us. "So you're walking home with him now?" I frowned. "What's that got to do with you?" Ethan narrowed his eyes. "You're not trying to make me jealous, are you?" His expression softened as he went on. "Don't do stuff like this. It's pointless. If you'd just accept Leo, I'd still be willing to be with you." I was speechless, stunned by how shameless he was. When I snapped out of it, I grabbed Zhao Xingyu's backpack strap and sped up. Zhao looked surprised. "Do people in your class binge-watch trash dramas or something?" "Just him," I said. Zhao got serious. "Still confident, Amy?" I nodded. "Even with everything, I haven't let my studies slip." He patted my shoulder. "Then keep it up. Don't let one basketball knock your brain loose. I don't know if youth really is priceless, but I've seen what it can cost." During the final stretch before college entrance exams, Ethan fell completely off track. He didn't even make it onto the ranking list. His name was nowhere to be found. The school called in his grandma. She walked in slowly, hunched over. I don't know what she said in the office, but when she left, she kept her head down, and her footsteps were heavy. I watched from the railings, but didn't know what to say. Zhao Xingyu leaned next to me. "Don't stress too much. You need a balance. Study too hard without rest and you really will turn into an idiot." I nudged him. Zhao just smiled and said, "Want to go hiking?" Hearing that word made something twist in my chest. He looked toward the field. "One setback doesn't mean anything. Let's go clear your mind, get a new perspective, and then push forward again." Strangely, I thought of that line. Youth is priceless. Before I knew it, I nodded. That night, I stayed up by the phone, half expecting someone to cancel on me again. The wait felt long, too long. But early the next morning, I got a message from Starlight. "Get ready. I'll be downstairs in 10 minutes. In that moment, the anxiety in my chest finally settled. I replied to his message, pulled out that hiking jacket I had stashed away, and this time I saw the summit. I saw the clouds. I saw the mist. Zhao suddenly shouted beside me, "Amy's totally going to crush the exam. Amy's getting into a great college." I turned to look at him and couldn't help but smile. I cupped my hands around my mouth and echoed back, "Amy's totally going to crush the exam." My voice rang out over the mountaintop. Zhao grabbed my hand as we started heading down. "After the second mock exam, there's still the third. This time you're going to ace it." "Yeah," I said. "I'm going to crush it." I had never felt like this before, like a fire had been lit inside me, burning bright enough to carry me all the way through the college entrance exams. When school resumed on Monday, every class ramped up their revision. Ethan suddenly snapped out of whatever funk he'd been in and started taking studying seriously again. Even Leo stopped going on about youth is priceless with the same enthusiasm. One day, during self-study period, Ethan stood up and walked over to my desk. "Amy, can you help me with this problem?" Every eye in the room turned toward us. I glanced up. "I don't know it." Ethan hesitated, then dragged his chair over and sat beside me. "We know each other's study habits better than anyone." I stayed silent. He pressed his lips together. "My grandma said her biggest hope is for me to get into a good college. I don't want to let her down either." I stood up so fast my chair scraped the floor. I said, "I don't know it. Do you not understand plain English?" Ethan's face changed immediately. Leo rushed over, bristling. "If she doesn't know, then she doesn't know. Why are you yelling like that?" Ethan glanced down at my test paper and saw all the neatly written problem breakdowns I had done. His expression darkened instantly. Leo followed his gaze, then pouted. "So you do know it. Everyone says you and Ethan are close. What, now you're holding out on him?" I closed my notebook and looked up at them. "Whether I know it or not has nothing to do with either of you." Ethan's face turned ashen. Leo was still trying to speak up for him, but Ethan suddenly turned around and walked off. As he yanked his school jacket off the back of his wooden chair, the zipper made a loud, angry screech. He threw the jacket over his head and slumped onto the desk, the picture of teenage misery. What a mess. The bell rang. I closed my notebook and saw a hand reach over. I looked up to find Ethan in front of my desk again, sighing. I won't walk Leo home anymore. I'll walk with you again. I yanked my paper from under his hand. No need. Ethan's expression hardened. Then what do you want? I stood up and walked away. Of course, he followed. I'm walking you home today, and from now on too. I acted like I didn't hear him. He suddenly grabbed my wrist and raised his voice. Come on, don't be mad anymore. Next time someone throws a basketball, I'll save you first, okay? I don't need you. You're not my property, I shot back. That shut him up, but he still refused to let go. Amy, I didn't mean it like that. I was just angry. I yanked my arm free. Say whatever you want. I'm not walking with you again. Zhao Xingyu came out of the class next door holding a page. Hey, I wrote out the full problem-solving steps for you. I took it. Thanks, he smiled. Wait for me after school. We've got a test, so I might be a little late. I nodded. Okay. Ethan's face darkened. His eyes were fixed on the paper Zhao handed me. His lips turned pale. Amy, you used to only walk with me. I stepped farther away. Youth is priceless, remember? I said lightly. He suddenly seemed to remember saying that himself, and looked like he regretted it. It's not what I meant before, he began. It doesn't matter. Everyone sees life differently. After evening classes, I purposely took my time packing up so I wouldn't leave at the same time as him. When I finally walked out of the classroom, I saw a tall figure standing alone. He looked completely defeated. I'd known him since we were kids. One glance and I knew it was Ethan. I walked right past him. Amy, he called behind me. His voice was lower now, almost desperate. I regret it. From now on, I'll only walk you home, okay? I stepped further away. No need. I've already made plans with someone else. Suddenly, Ethan pulled out his phone. He dug up a screenshot from my social media, a photo Zhao had secretly taken of me during our hike. His pupils trembled. You went hiking with him? That's right. I said. The jacket I wore? I actually bought it to go hiking with you. His throat bobbed with a sharp swallow. His voice was tight. It's not like I didn't want to go with you. I turned away. It doesn't matter anymore. At the school gate, I waited. Soon, Zhao Xingyu jogged over, holding a test paper. This is one of the questions our homeroom teacher said might come up. Take a look. I accepted it and genuinely meant it when I said, thank you. Behind Zhao Xingyu, the school grounds were swallowed in darkness. There weren't many lights. It looked like the night could devour a person whole. I turned and walked alongside him. I never saw Ethan come out. Maybe it was a shift in mindset, but I did really well on the third mock exam, 81 points higher than the second. Zhao Xingyu let out a breath of relief. So I really didn't knock something loose with that basketball. I suddenly remembered Ethan coming to plead with me. Didn't he say he didn't want me to press charges? Zhao looked even more surprised than I was. If you mess up, you take responsibility. I never asked anyone to plead for me. Who does he think he is? Making decisions like that in my name. Damaging my reputation. I didn't ask further. It was clear enough who had done it. From our time together, I could already tell Zhao wasn't the type to dodge responsibility. I smiled. A breeze lifted my bangs. No one. It's in the past now. This final stretch of time shouldn't be wasted on people who don't matter. 3 days of college entrance exams. By the end, I was running on fumes. To commemorate our youth, our classmates organized a celebration dinner. When I arrived, Leo was already there, surrounded by admiration like always. She really did have that talent. Wherever she went, she became the center of attention. She was the first to greet me. Well, the straight-A student is here. I found a corner and sat down. My desk mate leaned over and whispered, Leo's guessing she'll break 300 points. She's over the moon. What about you? I cracked some sunflower seeds with her and said casually, pretty good. I checked answers with Zhao. I should score over 550. Suddenly, the door to the private room opened. Ethan walked in, eyes locking onto mine instantly. Amy, why didn't you wait for me? You even blocked me on WeChat. I raised an eyebrow. Why would I wait for you? His eyes turned red. You promised me. You said we'd never be apart, that we'd go to the same college. You accepted my promise, so you. He cut himself off, face changing. Your necklace. Where's the pendant? His breathing was unsteady. I stood up and met his eyes. For the sake of your boundaries? I threw it away a long time ago. Ethan's face went pale, like something inside him collapsed. He reached out like he needed something to hold on to. All those things I said, I didn't mean them. Amy, I'll take you hiking to watch the sunrise, okay? I'll take you to Wendy's for soup dumplings. Just us this time. No one else. His lips trembled, voice louder than it needed to be. For some reason, every head in the room turned toward Leo. She froze, biting her lip. Her eyes turned red. Don't look at me. I tried to talk to them. I've been trying to help. Someone laughed awkwardly to break the tension, and the party continued as if nothing had happened. Later, my deskmate quietly told me, "Looks like Ethan didn't do so well on the exam. I was in the same test room. He came out looking awful." I lowered my eyes. All our effort comes to a breaking point at the college entrance exam. No one waits for you if you fall behind. Whether he did well or not, that was his own path. When the party ended, I walked out of the private room. Ethan chased after me with his jacket. "I'll walk you home." But another guy was already standing at the door, smiling faintly. "Hey, Amy, you done eating? I'll walk you home." Ethan saw him and froze. I followed Zhao Xingyu's steps. He asked, "So, which college are you aiming for? Should I go with you?" He smiled playfully. "A cute girl like you shouldn't be left to get hit in the head by some other guy again." Someone called my name behind me. I turned and saw Ethan, eyes full of pleading. "Can I please walk you home?" "Go home and eat," I said. "I need to catch up on sleep." Then I paused. "Your youth is priceless, remember?" Out of the corner of my eye, I saw his face drain of color. I turned and walked away. On college move-in day, I saw Ethan from the building above. He was standing in the shadows, and I couldn't make out his face. Zhao and I had gotten into the same college. He came to help me move in and showed me a message on his phone. It was from Ethan. "Take care of her for me." I frowned. "Just block him." Zhao smiled. "It's fine, let him watch us from a distance in our new college life. Might do him some good." "All right then," I said. "Here's to the next 4 years," he said, grinning with meaning. "To the next 4 years," I echoed. "Goodbye, Ethan. Hello, something new."